Satnam, beautiful sovereign woman. I am Jyoti Rajit Kawar with Veronica Berg and Iam.com. And today on Sovereign Woman TV, you will be learning what ancestral karma is, how to heal ancestral karma, and how to identify if you yourself are being called to heal and be the healer in your particular lineage. So, welcome. And of course, like always, if these videos are of interest to you, personal spiritual sovereignty and living an optimal life of wellness and health are, of course, your commitment to your legacy. Please hit the like and subscribe button. As you all know, I go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Tuesdays with spiritual sovereignty talks on Sovereign One TV, and on Thursdays with a follow up Kundalini Yoga meditation to help you integrate this new awareness. So, welcome to today's Sovereign Women TV transmission, where we're gonna go real deep on ancestral karma and ancestor healing. Now, for me, this has been a subject matter that has been very important as I began my work, my spiritual work, and my holistic work. I call it the hero's journey, which all of us go on. We all leave home and then make this journey and then realize that all the answers and all of the solutions were always within here. We had to go out there to try to put it all together, right? And my hero's journey, as you all seen in some of the other videos, involves a lot of healing and holistic healing from every type of aspect of healing mental instabilities, addiction to alcohol, and even healing my relationship with my marriage, which is now getting 20, almost 23 years strong and stronger than ever. But it was a lot of work to actually even get here, right? And particularly for me, the holistic journey pathway I took of going to the Peruvian jungle and working with plant medicines, which you can check out the video I did on that here below, and really understand that experience specifically. It started to open up this awareness of how, first of all, our ancestors are always here. You know, it's a frequency. The subtle world of and the spiritual world, in essence, is a frequency. It's a vibration, just the way energy and everything in this world is of energy that vibrates. And when you yourself can be in a state of consciousness, even in the physical world, of what I would call 5D frequency, where there's no rules, there's no attachments. Many children can actually get into these frequencies, and that's why they can see spirits, and that's why they can see ancestors who are always here, and they're here to either live vicariously through you, and some of those personalities or ancestors are definitely a good time and it can give you some pretty cool traits, right? But then there's also some ancestors that went through some serious suffering, and they went through some serious suffering through World War One, World War Two. They went through maybe lack of food. I was born in Mexico, but coming from Mexico, my parents, my mom had to work at a very young age in the strawberry fields. Her mom, pretty much didn't have, they had to work hard to even have food. And so their survival mechanisms, the way whatever they did or used to survive, that in itself does get passed down to us. And a lot of it, as we know, does include a lot of suffering, a lot of pain. If there was any traumas or events that happened in your family that left this dark energy in the family, that if it's not dealt with, if it's not processed, and especially if it's not forgiven, those are the things that are emotional, that is energy, because in essence emotions are energy and motion that does get passed down to through you to your lineage. And we all know that uncontrolled emotions, they show up last as actual physical illnesses. You see them last as physical illnesses, but they started as that emotion, as that programming. Because if you really think about it, when we look at the word karma, you can look at it a couple of ways. The great master Yogi Bhajan, who brought these teachings of Kundalini Yoga from the east to the west in the late 60s, once only taught to royalty, brought them because he knew what was going to happen. He talks about karma as basically life being a process of us incarnating here to pay back karma by not reacting to the karma, because karma are these lessons that show for us in life. And if we can hold the present moment awareness, and not react, and instead alchemize it, which means change the frequency to a higher frequency. An alchemist can change metal into gold. That in itself will then burn the karma. And that's exactly what Eckhart Tolle says, who I think is a modern day mystic. He's an incredible saint. He basically wrote a book called The Power of Now. And he basically says that karma is our unprogrammed consciousness just repeating itself over and over again. It's just basically your unconsciousness, your lack of present moment awareness is what's creating these karmic cycles in all of your life. And these unconscious programs come from your ancestors. They come from your lineage, and they come from a lot of the trauma and suffering and abundance and lack. And that's why all of that, becomes transferable to you. And as we move into the age of Aquarius, which is this new evolutionary cycle for humanity, where the future is the divine feminine, she's awoken in all of us. It's connection to the heart and the mind, because if you don't do both, you're just not going to make it in these new frequencies. This new age is about living authentically, and we cannot live authentically if we're still carrying the baggage from our ancestors that have been gone, or have been basically, or are still here, trying to burn their karma, trying to live vicariously through you, or trying to, in a sense, be forgiven or be freed from their own still trapped lie in the tribe basically dimension, where they're stuck because of the lack of forgiveness and whatever happened in their lives. And I can say this personally because I know that's exactly what happened in my family. And I knew through my Peruvian jungle, my plant medicine, and working with Mother Ayahuasca, exactly what ancestors needed my help and forgiveness, exactly what ancestors needed to tell their story, and exactly what ancestors also were here to share with me, their incredible traits. And I can connect with them very easily through meditation, even through just being conscious, because I know that they're like my guardian angels. And all of us, all of you have connections to your guides, which I'll be doing a whole other video just on that, on how do we connect actually to them, and how do we actually speak to the guides, to the ancestors. For me, when I finally was surrendered to Kundalini Yoga and I actually became a teacher, I started to really study the prescriptive meditations that basically are part of this ancient technique process of alchemization of energy, of upgrading your processing system, which is your brain. And I started to really get familiarized with some of these meditations. And as I started to do one specific one that I practice every single day, which I'll be sharing with you all next Thursday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I've been doing it now since October, probably more than 100 days now, right? And that's when everything started to really, really like fast, very quickly evolve as far as connection to my ancestors. I started to be able to go back even like 75,000 years to ancestors that I didn't even know I had. And here's the beauty about all this, it's this meditation technique is specific for healing ancestral karma, because this is the work that we're all needing to do now. And the meditation itself, it really protects your heart, because this work is not easy. Like I said a little bit earlier, it actually, I know for me at the very beginning, it was very painful. It's very karmic, meaning it's heavy. I could feel at times all the oppression of women, all the women who were shining their light and then got burned at the stake for basically being healers. I could feel the sense of just feeling frustrated for not being heard, or not being seen, and being instead taken down by the darkness. So there's a lot of suffering, and even through my ancestors that I did remember, that was really painful, right? Being there at the moment of the moment that changed our lineage and our life. And so there was a lot of stuff that I did remember, and there was stuff that I didn't, that just came out of some, I don't even know where, right? But I was able to go back deep into thousands of years ago to an ancient civilization and our ancestors known as the Lemurians. And the connection with them that I had actually led me to a very beautiful physical location here in Sedona, Arizona, where there I was actually led to the physical location of a Lemurian, an ancient ancestor, who actually has this incredible sacred space where you go there and you literally go there for healing of your heart. And this is something that I'm actually creating a pilgrimage to bring all of the beautiful beautiful sovereign woman as a pilgrimage to do this inner work and heal the heart connection, because there I was able to do an ancestor healing ceremony, which then elevated my perceptive reality of how our ancestors are always here, and how us, not even if we know who they are or if we don't know who they are, by us simply praying for them and thanking them, by making them aware and conscious, we're doing this work, that this is the energy that is needed to start creating the ripples of healing for your lineage to come. And these are the things that have been given to me as a gift, that for me, it's like the shaman goes deep into her subconscious mind, and she goes deep into the aspects where most people are afraid to go. And I went there with plant medicine, and I go there every single day with my Kundalini Yoga daily sadhana, my practice, which is minimum, hour and a half. And really, I should be increasing it to about 2 hours, which just means getting up a little bit earlier. 5 in the morning is not too early, but 4 in the morning should be 1 hour extra is not bad for the what was given to me as a vision and as a gift to share to this world. If we want to be at our optimal health and we want to be sovereign, we really got to do the internal inner work. And when we do our daily sadhana, we're able to connect to this healing that goes beyond even your lifetime. It goes into back into whatever suffering or pain your great grandparents went through, and so on. So it's a beautiful process. It takes courage, it takes patience. There's many days where I do my daily 11-minute meditation, which we're going to be doing next Thursday, like I said. So make sure you join us live for that. That it's very like just stale. And there's some days that I'm angry, and some days that I'm very happy, and some days I have a lot of guidance and I can connect. And so that's the beauty of all that. You go into it devoted, you don't go into it with any expectations, because in the most boring one, and that's what spirituality is all about, you don't do spirituality, you don't even do meditation. You literally catch it because you don't know. There could be that 1 minute in that 11-minute meditation that completely breaks your subconscious barriers. And all of a sudden, your awareness is open to this new reality and this new awareness of why you are struggling in this world, why your challenges really are showing up the way they're challenges, and more importantly, what to do to overcome them, and what internal work you can do to actually transcend them, not only for you but forever for your lineages to come. So it's very courageous work that just takes you showing up consistently and daily, and 11 minutes a day is not a lot compared to the gifts that you get back in return as a beautiful shaman. You get to bring this back to you, to the world, and to the lineage. So if you yourself have recently just been connecting more to the subtle world, and you're not necessarily afraid, if you perhaps feel like you're very intuitive, like you can kind of have this empath ability, and you're strong too, because a lot of empaths like to go on the weak mode and say, I can't go to specific areas because I absorb too much energy. That's just a bunch of BS. We need to be strong, sovereign women. And that's what Kundalini Yoga is about. Kundalini Yoga is not for the weak, I would say. It is literally Jedi technology. A great mentor of mine who I love dearly, her name is Guru Jagat, and she's an incredible leader and mentor. And she says, this is Jedi technology for the warrior, for the spiritual warrior. And why is the spiritual warrior needed today? Because we're creating the Shambhala, what Shogun Trungpa talked about, which is this enlightened society. And it's going to take a detoxification of the old systems, of the old ways of being, of believing, for this to happen. And that's what's going on right now. And that's why, as we're moving into this Aquarius age, it's going to be more important for us to actually start to open the communications about healing ancestral lineages. For me, this whole year, I planned several in-person workshops on healing ancestral karma, because I know what this work has done personally in my life, and understanding where I came from, that I never even had a clue until I started to do this inner work, understanding who I am and remembering that, right? Without the ego, without the roles again, literally knowing that we literally all are this soul having this human incarnation experience, right? And not only that, having this peace of mind and sovereignty to say, what, life is not a race, it's not a competition, it's a moment by moment experience of exhilaration. And that if I can really move into that natural cycle and the rhythm of Gaia and the moon and all the incredible nature that's talking to me, that I'm going to be the most sovereign, successful woman forever. And that's the new Aquarius age of being and moving into. So, how do we actually heal? We talked a little bit about what is ancestral karma, what is karma, how does it happen? It happens because it gets passed down because our genes have expressions and they literally get passed down through whatever your grandparents, great grandparents, and even like I said, for me, it was our Lemurian civilization from thousands of years ago, who was an advanced civilization, who really, that's what's in all of us. We can move from this 3D frequency of just seeing with the eyes to a state of awareness of 5D frequency, meaning no existential crisis, no rules, and a total commitment to this cohesiveness of a wholeness that this whole experience is of unity consciousness is what maybe someone like Deepak Chopra would have called it. And so as we looked at that, we looked at how does it occur? How does this get transferred down to this? How do you know if you're being called to be a healer in your family? Like I said, I believe there's a healer in every single family. And if you're watching the video, it's probably you. And now, how do you actually do this? How do you move forward and how do you heal? Well, the great master Yogi Bhajan, who brought Kundalini Yoga from the East to the West, in essence, gave us quite a few tools to make this happen. Now, for ones, of course, there's Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga, there's specific prescriptive meditations that actually help you heal this ancestral karma that we're talking about. Now, the other way that Kundalini Yoga actually helps you heal ancestral energy karma is that it awakens and works with your Kundalini energy. Now, remember, I did a video on what Kundalini energy is, what a Kundalini awakening is, and what Kundalini Yoga is. And I'll put the link below here in the description so you can check out that video too, because it's going to help you understand everything we're talking about. But in essence, Kundalini, working with your Kundalini energy, she is the mother and creation, or the mother of creation. She is the force of creation, life force energy herself. When awakened Kundalini, what happens is that she helps you rewrite the programming. She literally helps you rewrite the programming that keeps you stuck in karmic loops, which are part of your ancestral lineage, or even the ones that you create here in your current day to day. So, when you work with your Kundalini energy, you're creating this creative life force energy, which are creating new neural pathways to even want to change. I heard, like, again, the other day, Guru Jagat, amazing leader, she said that there's having an addiction and then going beyond actually knowing you have an addiction to actually being wanting to change or wanting to not have an addiction. And why is that? Because you need even new neural pathways in the brain to even want to not have the addiction. So, like, there's a beautiful meditation that I do for it's an addiction meditation, but it helps you recover from any types of addictions, thoughts, substances, anything like that, right? So even if you're doing it every day and you're not quitting the addiction, whatever is you're addicted to, it's still, you keep doing it. You have to meditate. You have to start the process of even creating the new neural pathways in the brain so you can start creating the new thoughts that, hey, maybe I don't want to do that every day anymore, to then take you to the next level of actually healing that addiction, right? So same thing with this. It's the Kundalini Yoga creates the neural pathways in the brain that then allow you to have these new desires of wanting to live at a higher consciousness, at a higher frequency, which is what started to happen to me. That's how I was able to heal from an addiction to alcohol. I mean, I needed alcohol every single day to even fall asleep because I was successful business owner, president of several nonprofits, the outside world, everything was perfect. Long-term marriage, I had it all. Little did everyone know that I was dying inside and I was processing my emotions through alcohol. I was not numbing them because I didn't want to feel the fact that I was out of purpose. I was not in alignment. I wasn't talking my truth. I wasn't even in a place where I could be with myself, with my thoughts. I had cold depression, which is what a lot of us have that are very successful. We keep ourselves so busy so we don't have to face ourselves. And that's what was going on with me. So as I started to work with Kundalini yoga, what happened was I started to create these new neural pathways in my brain that started to give me the awareness of wanting a better life and of truly taking responsibility because it's the mother of all yogas. She makes you take responsibility for yourself and makes you see that you don't want to be a victim. So that's why it was so beautiful how the universe, God, Source herself delivered these teachings to me right after I had come back from the Peruvian jungle, because I needed to digest all of this, and I had always been called to actually do ancestral healing. I wanted to heal myself and generations before and after. So this was all, if you look back at your life and learn to use these technologies like Kundalini Yoga, you start to live more in the neutral mind. You have a higher perceptive of your life, and you start to connect the dots of your life very quickly. And when challenges do happen, you start to get excited because you think, wow, something really big is going to move here. Or this is an equation, from this cause, there's going to be an effect, so there's only going to be something good out of it. And that's a strong nervous system. You can only do that working through Kundalini energy, right? And so the other way to heal is, there's also for very deep people that have deep traumas, and I did this myself through Kundalini Yoga teacher training. Yogi Bhajan also gave us the great gift of white tantric yoga. And white tantric yoga happens throughout the world. And you can find lots of, especially the big cities like Los Angeles and Phoenix, and the solstices. And you can check online in the 3HO website to see when this happens. But it's a full day. I think we got there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you're done by like 5 o'clock in the evening of meditation. And you don't know what meditations are going to be given to you. Some of the meditations, you may take a break for lunch or a break for breakfast, but some of the meditations could be an hour long, or they could be 2 hours long. And the meditations, a lot of people think meditation is just sitting like this and listening to something, but no. In Kundalini Yoga, we work with breath, we work with mudra, and we work with specific ways we sit, right? And we do different things like that. And so some of them, you could be holding up your hands for 3 hours, or your partners, and they're very, very intentional in breaking it. That's why it's called white tantric. It works with Z energy, and Z energy is the energy that literally breaks through. I mean, they say, what I've read is that by doing one day of tantric yoga, it's like doing like a lot of years of meditation work, because it actually breaks through very deep ancestral stuff, or even deep stuff that you may be carrying through your subconscious. So if you really want to go all in and heal some serious things, white tantric yoga is a gift that you can actually look up, or send me a message, and I'll be glad to send you a link. It travels throughout the world, and you're usually doing it in a big group with like, I think we did it with like 100 people. It could be with 50 people, but typically it's in some type of a big building, and you just follow the directions. An incredible experience will change your life. I had the incredible blessing to be able to do this with my son. We did this together, and it was just powerful, and our whole life changed. I mean, right after that, everything, our house, everything. I left my business of 15 years right after that. We bought a new house. Everything around us changed, because everything inside of us had changed. So that's how deep this works. And again, it works very deeply for ancestral karma. And then there's other specific meditations that you chant that work deeply on connecting you to healing this karma, but also connecting you to your truth. Because what we want to accomplish is vibrating our Satnam. Our Satnam literally is our truth and our identity. And when you vibrate that, you are vibrating the cosmos, and the cosmos are then, they're the universe is going to completely surrender to you, because you're doing this inner work to heal this lineage, right? And now you're moving out this energy that had been blocking your highest essence, your truest essence, why you were really here. I mean, so many of us don't even have the time or luxury to even think about, why am I really here? What really makes me happy? And with this practice, even if you don't know why you're here, your destiny, or not even your destiny, but your calling of your dharma, will be really shown to you. And that's the beauty of it, if you're courageous, consistent, and disciplined, because does take discipline. But discipline is the highest form of self-love that we can all have, because when you have discipline, you're committed to yourself. And there's something more beautiful than being committed to yourself, in my opinion. So ancestral karma is something that, as we move into the Aquarius age, it's going to be inevitable for all of us to work through it. This is a subject matter that I'm going to be bringing you all so much more information on. And of course, with the workshops that will be happening throughout the nation, and one day throughout the world, on ancestral karma, you'll get to find out a little bit more, so you can actually attend with me. My workshops are very intimate in person, and they actually offer this incredible opportunity to do some deep, serious ancestral karmic work. So don't forget to join us again in a couple of days here and on Thursday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'll be sharing with you this specific meditation technique that I've been doing since October that has helped me really connect to my ancestral lineage, has helped me really work through some of the deepest suffering in the subconscious mind that had really held me back from walking in my dharma and my truth. And it's going to help you really connect and heal and move into higher frequency as we move into 2020 and beyond. So join me in a couple of days. And of course, you can always go to veronicaberriganiam.com and you can download the complimentary meditations that I have for you there. One will help you ease any types of addictions, and we have another one that'll help you with any cold depression that you can click and download and get started on your own Kundalini Yoga practice. And as always, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much. Sat Nam, and I'll see you all very soon.